Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the variable mass system, which also includes a rocket propulsion. A lot of people find it really difficult because it includes a complex equation and you don't really know how to approach to the problem. So I'll just put a simpler way, a simpler approach to the problem. So let's just discuss that. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because there is a lot of interesting content that is on JEE coming up. Let's get started. Now, taking a variable mass system, do you basically know how to write the momentum? Then you're done. That's it. Like if you know how to write the momentum, you're actually taking care of the variable mass system also. Let me show you how it is done. Okay. So consider a simple problem where a bullet of mass m is traveling with a velocity v. That's all. Now the bullet is traveling with a momentum mv and it hits a wall, and there is an impulse imparted on the wall because the bullet came to rest. The change in momentum, it was initially mv, now it is 0. The change in momentum is nothing but the impulse imparted on the wall. That is everything, that is basically something that is already known to everyone, right? Now let us look at a problem where multiple bullets are hitting a wall. We've all done this kind of a problem where some n number of bullets all traveling with a velocity v, all has a mass m, and n number of bullets hitting per second. There are n number of bullets hitting the wall per second. So if only I write that momentum imparted mv for every bullet, n bullets, that is the change in momentum delta p, by time 1 second is nothing but delta t. So what we're writing is the average force, the force average imparted n into mv per 1 second on the wall. The force imparted on the wall because of the bullets which are constantly imparting the wall. That is the only thing. That's the thing that we've done this kind of a problem already in the past. Now if we can look at the similar problem, a water jet constantly hitting the wall. We do the same thing. We take some mass of the water, we take the velocity v, it hits the wall, it comes to rest, and we write the momentum change. We simply find the force average. We've all done this kind of a problem, rho a v square. If you don't remember the problem, go ahead and check in the past classes. So this is the thing that we've done, like the average force by the water jet on the wall. This is a problem that we've already done. What is variable mass system? Please don't look at the problem in a different manner. It is exactly the same thing. Except the only difference is, let us take a pan. Weighing machine, like where you have a digital pan. You put some mass into it. You put some weight into it, and it weighs the weight for you, right? Now you are shooting bullets at that pan. Now the pan, let's just imagine it is a bulletproof pan. It is collecting the bullets. Let us say it already collected some 15 bullets. So the reading it must show actually should be the mass of 15 bullets. So 15 into mg. But is it the only reading that it shows? No. Because of the more bullets, the bullets are constantly coming. The bullets are constantly coming with a constant speed. Let's just imagine the speed is constant. Let's just imagine gravity is not really affecting that speed of the bullets. Just imagine, okay? The bullets are constantly coming. It's not just 15 bullets. There are more bullets coming onto the pan and hitting them. All these bullets are actually imparting some momentum onto the pan, right? Let's just imagine 7 bullets per second. 7 bullets per second are also hitting the pan. Okay, so all this momentum is also there. So additionally 7 into mv per second, an average force. This is an additional force that is acting onto the pan. So the entire reading in the pan will be 15 mg plus that 7 mv per second. So both the weights are there. Like this is the original weight of the bullets that are already in the pan. This is the constant momentum. Now this reading is not constant, guys. Remember, this reading is not constant. Every time the bullet is added, there is weight added, and along with that there is constant imparting of momentum also. So this is definitely not constant. This value keeps on changing for sure. Okay, but at that instant, the instant where it has 15 bullets and the momentum being added, this is the reading. So this is a value. Now people simply, we haven't done anything like very strange here, right? We simply took the momentum change along with the weight of the bullets also. The weight of the bullets is also added along with the momentum imported. This literally is the variable mass system. There is no change. The most basic problem that we can relate in variable mass system is where they drop a chain onto a pan. You might have seen this problem, or at the end of this video I will add some images, an image of a problem, something similar to this. You can take a screenshot and solve the problem later. So what in this problem is, like, they simply drop a chain onto the pan. Let us say the whole weight of the chain is 100 grams. A golden chain, let's just imagine. The whole weight of the chain is 100 grams. For now, they only dropped some 32 grams. For now, only 32 grams of chain is only dropped onto the pan. Now, is the reading here is 32 grams? No, it is not. There is 32 grams and the chain is being dropped with a velocity v. Each and every link here is basically just like a bullet. It is no different at all. Each and every link right there is basically a bullet. So you are adding each and every bullet coming with a velocity v, and it is constantly coming to rest. Each and every link is coming with a velocity, hitting the pan, it is coming to rest. So that additionally, like, they have to give at what velocity the chain is coming down. So along with the 13 grams, let us just take a small dm mass in the chain, that is coming to rest. So I am going to write that small dm into v, that coming to rest at dt, coming to rest in a small time dt. So this is the dm mass that came to rest in a time dt. So the reading looks like it is 32 grams plus dm by dt into v. We can just leave it like this, but we can actually make it more detailed, because this dm, the small chain, I'm going to zoom it and write it here. This is the dm. Okay, let us just imagine the thickness, the area of cross section is a, the length is dx, so dm can be written as the density of the body into the volume of this thing is a into dx. Do you agree on that? It's just a cylindrical shaped thing, right? So rho a dx is dm. I'm going to put it there. So the reading will be 32 grams plus additionally rho a dx by dt into v, dx by dt. Yeah. Now dx by dt is nothing but the rate at which this length is being dropped onto the chain, which is nothing but v again. So 32 grams plus rho a v into v. Do you see the answer? I've already given the answer a few minutes ago. Rho a v square. So the reading that is shown in the pan weighing machine is not just 32 grams, which is already added. The additional value, the rho a v square, is because of the mass that is constantly dropping onto the chain and adding the mass, adding the weight to it. Okay, that the momentum imparted. It is not the constant weight that is in the chain, that is in the pan. It is a momentum that is being added into the chain. Now this basically is a variable mass system. There is nothing else that we can talk about it. This basically is a variable mass system. But they in fact give you another idea about it. There is a whole different idea to this thing where they call it as a variable mass system, and they call it as, like, they use this idea in rocket propulsion. Here you will see a whole different equation clearly, like a whole different equation. It might look different to you, but it is exactly the same thing. Before I start the rocket propulsion system, I want to show you another thing. Take a gun of mass capital M, and there is a bullet. There is a bullet of like the entire mass is capital M. Let's just imagine there is a bullet of mass small m in it. Now when the bullet is fired with a velocity v, the gun recoils with a velocity some v dash. Everyone knows this thing. So the mass is m now. The mass is m minus m. The mass is decreased, right? So let us just imagine, like, everyone knows this, like, you know how to, you must know already how to conserve the momentum. You can simply write mv equals to m minus m into, let's just call it as v dash, okay, v dash, out of one bullet of firing. Now let's just imagine the first bullet has gone. Now the gun has fired a second bullet. The gun has fired a second bullet. M v1, m, this fired with some velocity v2, and the gun's mass is now m minus 2m into, let's just call it as v double dash. We can write the momentum conservation again, m v1 plus m v2 equals to m minus 2m into v double dash. The thing that you need to observe is, as we keep firing these bullets, the gun is constantly accelerating. You fire one bullet, it accelerates. You fire another bullet, it accelerates. You fire another bullet, it accelerates. So it's basically, you are accelerating the gun. We are considering there is no friction anywhere, obviously. You are accelerating the gun just by firing bullets. The rocket propulsion system is exactly the same thing. The rocket is right here. It is firing mass in the backward direction. And it is getting accelerated, and that is the only thing. We will end up at the equation that you all might have seen already. If you haven't seen it, now we can solve it. Definitely, there is no big deal at all. Okay, look at this situation. Let us just say that a rocket has started with a capital M mass. It kept on firing, and after some time it actually came down to mass m. After some firing, like there is a lot of firing that happened, and we are not considering the entire situation at once. We are trying to consider the situation at a specific instant in a time interval dt. It freshly fired a dm mass out of it. In a small time dt, freshly fired as dm mass out of it. Let us try to conserve the momentum here. So to look at the problem in a very simpler manner, I am going to look at the rocket right before dt and right after dt, like when the dm mass just released, fired, just before firing, just after firing. If you look at on the left side, the rocket of mass m is already traveling along with the mass dm with a v velocity. Right after the dm velocity is fired out, v plus dv, the rocket has gained a velocity v plus dv. Now dm is fired back with a velocity v1 here, and m plus the mass I have. Take 3, take 4. Now to look at the whole system in a much simpler way, I just divided this thing into right before the mass is fired and right after the mass is fired. If you look at the whole thing, the rocket of mass m and the additional dm mass, both are traveling with a velocity v. So the momentum goes like m plus dm, both are traveling with a velocity v. Now right after the dm mass is actually fired because of the chemical reactions, whatever, the dm mass is fired out in the form of gases with a velocity v1. Let's just imagine that the rocket has gained a velocity. Now the velocity of the rocket is v plus dv. So the momentum can be written as m into v plus dv minus dm into v1, because the rocket, the dm mass is fired in the backward direction. We can happily conserve the momentum since there was no external force on the rocket. It's just the rocket which is completely firing out all the masses from it. So I'm going to write m plus dm into v equals to m into v plus dv minus dm into v1. If only I elaborate the equation, mv plus dmv, mv plus mdv minus dm v1. mv gets cancelled out. If only I try to bring it this direction, in this way, dm equals to v plus v1, which is equals to mdv. Now if you clearly observe this v plus v1, if you look at the situation, this v plus v1, the rocket is traveling with v in this direction, this v1 is in the backward direction. That is the velocity with which it got fired in the backward direction. Can I say this v plus v1 is the V relative, the velocity relative to rocket. Let us say the rocket is already traveling with 1000 meters per second. The mass is fired back in the direction with 50 meters per second. So the relative velocity between the rocket and the mass, can be written as 1000 plus 50, right? 1050, because this is fired 1000 in this direction. This is going in the direction of in the backward direction with 50 meters per second. You can say the relative velocity between them is 1050. So I call this V plus V1 as a relative velocity m into dv. Now almost, guys, we're almost there. This is almost, we can call it as something as a variable mass system equation. Let me take it further a bit. Let me divide this whole equation with dt. Since dt is the only time that we had during this whole thing, I'm going to write m dv by dt equals to dm by dt into v relative. Now m dv by dt, the rate at which the mass is accelerating, the rocket is accelerating, ma, is nothing but the rate at which the mass is being burned with a relative velocity. That's all. The rate at which the mass is burnt, the dm by dt, they have to mention this thing. A rocket is burning 10 kgs per second. They have to give this kind of data. 10 kgs per second, dm by dt must be given. And the gases which is burnt is leaving at 50 meter per second or 20 meter per second or 30 meter. They have to give that velocity also. That simply gives the mass into acceleration. The rocket is being simply accelerated because of the variable mass system. The mass is constantly being kicked out and it is clearly accelerating, and that is how it works. Now if only there is an external force, if only the rocket is being pushed by some external force, we don't know, like they have an additional carrier or something, you simply add that equation also, F external, on both the sides. It depends on the direction of force. A lot of people write it on this side. Let me write it on this side only. The direction, it depends. dm by dt into v relative velocity. Okay, let me just clear this part on the right side so that there is no confusion at all. This, guys, right here is the variable mass equation, m into a dm by dt into v relative velocity F external. Let me explain this whole equation again. If only there is external force in the system, you put this value. Otherwise, in most of the situation, this is 0. They don't give an external force in the rocket propulsion system. They mostly don't give. In this situation, the rate at which the rocket is burning the mass, the speed at which it is burning, simply gives a acceleration of the rocket. Okay. Now let's just look at a problem which is quite related to this. Now, let me read the problem entirely. There is a rocket of weight 8000 kg. The mass is not constant. I'm sorry, I said weight. The rocket of mass 8000 kg. The mass is definitely not constant. The mass is obviously decreasing, but at that instant, the rocket has a mass of 8000 kg and it is burning 2 kg per second. And the burning mass, he directly mentioned the relative velocity. He didn't mention the original velocity. He directly mentioned the relative velocity at 200 meters per second. Find the acceleration of the rocket. So if I have to do it, I simply do it this way. If I have to write the entire equation, F external plus dm by dt into v relative velocity equals to mass into acceleration. This is the original equation. Since there is no external force, I'm making external force 0. The dm by dt, the mass is being burned at 2 kg per second. So I'm going to put 2 kg by 1 second. V relative is given as 200 equals to mass of that rocket at that instant is 8000 kg equals to acceleration. So this is 400, 8000 into acceleration. So this is coming as, acceleration is coming as 4 by 80, which is 1 by 20 meter per second square. This is how the rocket is accelerating at this kind of acceleration. Obviously this acceleration is not enough for a rocket to actually take off. It needs a lot more acceleration, but this is just a model problem. Okay. Now there's a reminder that I need to tell you, because sometimes there are problems where a cart is just leaking some mass, and the cart clearly has some wheels and it has some sand in it. This is how the problem is designed. It has some sand in it and it is leaking some mass, some weight, some mass through it, some mass through some hole. And they talk about the variable mass system. They ask whether the system is variable mass system or not. First of all, clearly the mass in the cart is decreasing. Just like in the rocket, the mass is clearly decreasing. There's a big blunder here. This is not a variable mass system at all. Yeah, clearly the mass is varying for sure, but they don't consider it as a variable mass system, and there is a reason why. Let us say the cart is traveling with v, and the sand that is leaking through also has a velocity v. Do you agree? What is v relative here? The relative velocity of the cart or the sand inside the cart with the sand which is leaking. Also, the sand which is leaking is also having the same velocity. So the relative velocity is clearly 0 here. The relative velocity is clearly 0. If I have to write dm by dt into v relative equals to m into acceleration, no, the v relative is 0, so the cart is not accelerating. The cart will not accelerate if the sand that is leaking through also has the same amount of velocity. Alright, definitely this is not the variable mass system problem. You have to make sure the mass which is leaving the system must have a relative velocity with the system, otherwise you don't really need to apply the variable mass system problem at all. Also, I could discuss more problems like where the mass is leaving in a perpendicular direction. This is a very complicated problem, nobody is going to ask you, but I'm just saying, if the mass is leaving in this direction, the momentum imparted is in the backward direction. So the rocket, instead of accelerating in this direction, this v remains constant, additional dv will be added in this direction, so rocket actually accelerates. That is how you simply change the direction of a rocket, by the side propulsions. But this is a very complicated system, and I don't want to go into the depths of these kind of problems. So let us just stay with this, okay? So that's it, guys. I'm pretty sure I haven't covered the entire idea. I barely gave you the simple basic idea of it. There are tons and tons of models, tons and tons of problems that we'll discuss. In further videos, in the next coming videos, maybe I might try to discuss some more problems on the variable mass systems. For now, try to do these problems that are in the screen, take a screenshot or something, and try to do these basic problems on variable mass system. The problems can get really complicated much compared to this thing. I hope to discuss more problems on variable mass system in the future. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. I forgot to mention that the registrations on examtracker.com are already closed, but in future, if there are new slots that are opened, you might get an early registration. So make sure you register yourself on the website for the full-fledged physics JEE lessons, and see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye bye.